If they're being bailed out, not making a payment, how is this going to inspire them to start paying? Then what happens if the property tax, so important to Barney Frank, never gets paid because the mortgage never gets paid? What do? Well, you bail out the property tax. You bail that out too. That's what Keynesian economics is. It never stops. When some segment of the market doesn't come through, the government says, "Well, we got to pick up the slack here," and so you bail out the property tax. But the real question is, if they're being bailed out after not having paid, why start paying? Especially when you got a president on there who is your champion, who's up there saying you've been screwed by being an American in a free market. And we're going to come to your rescue. Let's go to the phones. People have been waiting patiently. This is Gretchen in Butler, Pennsylvania. Great to have you here, Gretchen.
Russ, it is such a pleasure to speak with you. I am so honored. I have to say, I am so incredibly frustrated with these liberal Democrats who want to change our free market system, that same system who has made our country what it is. And in comparison, our country is so young compared to all these European countries and all these socialist systems that have proven not to work. Why do they want to squelch us and ruin us?
Well, it's a great question, but you say it's been proven not to work. For who does it not work?
It doesn't work for the people. I mean, how many people have come here? I mean, our country has been booming and growing, and we've helped other countries.
What makes you think, serious here, what makes you think that any of this being done here is for the people? I mean, when you look at what's being done here, how in the world can you say it's being done for the people?
Well, it's again back to that feeling of, somehow people who have done well for themselves, like you were talking yesterday, we have to be punished, because we pay our taxes and we pay our mortgage.
Let me give you the very succinct, simple answer that you deserve. Answer your question, why do so many liberal Democrats want to basically tear apart and rebuild the country? Because they don't control enough of it to satisfy them. They want to...
They live here, too. I don't understand. They're not...
But, they are going to establish separate rules for themselves by which they live, such as they'll be able to not pay their taxes and work in government at high levels. They're not going to be subject to whatever greenhouse gas laws there are. They're not going to be subject to any of this sort of... They have... Because they're too important, you see. And they all think they're part of the elite. Some of them are going to get canned. Some of them are going to get the shaft here. They just don't know it. But today, forget Democrat. These people are liberal socialists now. They bear no resemblance to the Democrat Party of John Kennedy, for example.
No, you're right. I agree.
It's about power. It's about control. These people genuinely look out over this country from their lofty perch. They don't like what they see.
Otherwise, well, then they can go somewhere else. But I don't understand, why do they have to stay here? Leave us alone.
At this point, Gretchen, I don't care about the why. They're not going to leave. They're trying to control it. At this point, the only thing is they must be stopped.
I agree. And
within the confines of our Constitution and the political arena of ideas, they must be stopped. I don't care why they see this country the way they see it. I don't care why a murderer does it. I don't care why a rapist does it. I don't care why this Muslim guy offed his wife's head. The now gang's out there saying, "No, that's not domestic violence. That's just what they call it? Culturally honor killing, or this woman was going to divorce him. That's against the law, and that's his diversity." I don't care. I don't care why anymore. I mean, if I figure it out, I'll be glad to tell you because it's interesting to know, but it doesn't matter in terms of defeating them.
Hey, look at California. It's completely going bankrupt. It is bankrupt. They have all of that natural gas, all that oil under there. And how did we let it happen? How did the environmentalists get so much control that they have money sitting there under the ground that they cannot touch because of some endangered fish?
Well, now that's a question that is worthwhile because the answer to that and having a full answer and knowledge of the answer to the question would help prevent it again in the future if we are able to secure our birthright back. And the answer to that is fairly lengthy. It took many, many years for that to happen, and there are many elements. It took a Republican Party afraid to stand up. It took the left lives this stuff each and every day. We live in the free market. They live in government and oppression. They live in the area of denying freedom. We live in the area of expanding it and practicing it. They use government to enforce their desires. We don't. We try to reduce the size.
Aliens in Oklahoma.